horn of Helm Hammerhand shall sound in the deep. One last time. Let this be the hour when we draw swords together. Fell deeds awake. Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the Red Dawn. For sail engine!
When Amazon could no longer rely on organic word of mouth to hype rings of power, Prime wasted no time in purchasing false praise. But what do you do when scripted superfans and naive content creators celebrate Amazon's second age adaptation, and it leaves everyone with a sour feeling in their stomach? Well, when all else fails, Amazon Prime returns to form and turns up the heat. Bounding into Comics has an article of one of Amazon's lackeys, the OneRing.net, attacking all Tolkien fans who are criticizing the Rings of Power and branding them as toxic. That's a winning strategy. Attack the fans you need and the customers you want. Yep, that ought to do it. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope all of you had a magnificent weekend. And if you want to continue the conversation and fun, take a second and push the subscribe button down below. You know, Amazon had one of the easiest jobs ever. I'm not talking about the mental or physical labor that it required or the years of sacrifice and commitment needed to bring Tolkien's Ea to life. No, I'm talking all they had to do was follow the core canon, hold on to the heart of the story, and crystallize and capture the spirit and essence of his beloved legendary. That's it. It's all there, written down for them. It's not a mystery. But Amazon didn't choose to follow that path. They chose instead to follow the message, to follow the agenda, to follow their friends in the Hollywood Hills and tip their hat to them to let them know we're part of your crew. You know, studios used to not go that route. They actually catered to customers' wishes. They would make you feel like they were making your dreams come true. They would create these immense, grounded stories in worlds that we never knew about, which would pull us in with these inspiring heroes or villains that were magnetic. And then they would paint the big screen in an epic fashion or your flat screen in your den. They got you so riled up, you could not wait till your Monday morning pilgrimage to the office water cooler so you could debate with your friends about what you just saw, the gossip you just heard, or the little bit of tidbit of news about an upcoming show. That's when Hollywood made magic. Not anymore. Well, while Amazon was busy catering to these new superfans, pampering them, taking them to the UK, giving them the royal treatment, the OneRing.net, one of their shills, was attacking the fandom. And Bounding into Comics has a great piece about it. The Lord of the Rings fan site describes fans critical of the Rings of Power as toxic, questions their fandom. Anyone who labels anyone else as toxic, to me, I used to get angry about it, but no more. Now I feel pity for them because they're coming from a place of fear and insecurity. Actually, it's kind of childish. The OneRing.net has their back up against the wall. And what are they doing? They're attacking. Why? See, like a lot of other corporations and a lot of other groups, they saw that Hollywood was going woke. And instead of taking a principled stand, they said, hey, you can't beat them, so join them. Now, Amazon has all the money, they have all the power, and they're making the rules. So the OneRing.net has snuggled up close, staying warm underneath the dragon's wing, and they're going to go, we're going to do your bidding, master. Not a worry, because they're waiting for any scrap of meat to fall from the dragon's teeth and land on their dinner table.
Your reputation precedes you, O Smaug the tyrannical. Truly, you have no equal.
To label people as toxic simply because you disagree with their opinions, that's a scam. That's a scam for power and control, to reshape the narrative and regain control of it. And how do you do it? By trying to prove to the world that these are merely know-nothings. Sharing this for all our fellow Lord of the Ring enthusiasts and media outlets who might get discouraged by toxin Tolkien takes on YouTube. It's the algorithm's fault and doesn't represent an honest view of our fandom. Interesting. The OneRing.net was responding in a tweet to an NBC News reporter who was complaining about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. See, she was stating that YouTube algorithm was really pushing the trial, so a lot of content creators were stepping outside of their wheelhouse, whether they were Minecraft creators or Elden Ring creators, it didn't matter, and they started making Depp and Heard videos saying like, hey, they really don't care about this information, but they just want to boost their channel. Therefore, they're adding all this vile content in order to get more clicks, more views, and more subscribers. They really don't care if they're poisoning the atmosphere. That's ridiculous. A lot of people can do two things at the same time. They can even love two things at the same time. So the OneRing.net is taking advantage of this. And what they're actually doing is using this tweet as a shield for a subterfuge, a strategy. They're trying to drive a wedge inside the global fandom, which has stuck together from the beginning. You're talking about a global fellowship from every walk of life, every religion, every belief, and every political system. And with one voice, we say, no, we disagree with what Amazon is doing. And so the OneRing.net is now trying to divide and conquer, turn us into individual tribes, or we create a circle firing squad and attack each other. Because they're saying, hey, all these YouTubers who are creating this content, who are shedding light on what Amazon is doing, they're not real. They weren't here a year ago or 2 years ago. We don't know. These are phonies. These are frauds. Don't count on them. They're just going about what the algorithm is pushing. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing could be further from the truth. Are we the ones who brought Tom Shippey on and then let him go? Did we the ones who stalled production until Christopher Tolkien died? Are we the ones that brought intimacy coordinators on, who we all know are nothing but hacks left over from the porn industry trying to create a new field? Are we the ones like Lindsay Weber who told Vanity Fair we are going to inject diversity and modernize Tolkien for contemporary times? Are we the ones who said we're going to write the novel Tolkien never wrote? No. Back in February, the OneRing.net claimed they were a safe haven for debate, while at the same time calling fans critical of the Rings of Power as racists. If there was any doubt the claim they were a safe haven had any shred of validity to it, it was exposed as a lie again, when they decided to call fans toxic, and are now even implying some fans aren't really fans because they happen to not be covering the Lord of the Rings every single day. Imagine that. Someone has a love for J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium, and they decide, hey, I hear what Amazon's doing, so I want to jump in and defend the Legendarium. Nothing wrong with that. But the One Ring is trying to use that to pull people apart. It's like they're trying to squeeze radical squares inside of rational circles. It doesn't work. See, a long time ago, Amazon and other corporations like them, they used to sing their sweet words and they would stick to people like honey and sunshine. If a corporation said they could make night feel like it's bright day, people would believe them. They'd believe their songs. But then reason rallied and virtue shattered vice. People woke up and realized that a viper's kiss is always venomous. Well, the OneRing.net didn't stop there. They put out a tweet the other day. No one would think twice about seeing this disclaimer on car and truck reviews, nor would it affect validity of the review. This is why complaints against media reviews are made in bad faith. Consumers expect such journalism standards to make informed decisions. They have a JPEG from Ars Technica which states Ford provided a night in a hotel and a flight to San Antonio so we could drive the new F-150 Lightning. Ars does not accept paid editorial content. That's fine. Consumer Reports accepts no payment. They pay for everything before they do any reviews. The SEC also has in their archives in Section E about payments, no employees nor members of the immediate family should seek or accept directly or indirectly anything of value in connection with any transaction or business of the company. Any gift or inducement, no matter what its value, may be perceived as a bribe if the employee's actions are influenced by receipt of such. Employees may accept gifts and entertainment of nominal value from customers and suppliers when it is clear the customer or supplier is not trying to influence the employee in connection with the transaction, and when the gift or entertainment is unsolicited. For purposes of this policy, nominal value shall mean not more than $25. See, you respond to people like the OneRing.net and these little false attacks with facts. Now, the individuals, these new superfans who went on these trips, they're not public corporations, and these rules apply to public corporations. But it lays the foundations of ethics. It's saying, hey, we do not allow this between Fortune 500 companies or any other public companies. You'd have to get the permissions from your executives and higher ups. And what's the price? No more than the value of $25. Because we're human beings, and as human beings, no matter how strong of character you are, no matter how honorable you are, your mind, the back of your mind can be swayed. You're going to go, hey, this person is really treating me nice. You have to constantly be aware of what they're doing. If these superfans really never wanted to have a cloud hang over their name, all they had to do is say, guys, we really want to see the screening. We cannot accept this. Send me a screener. I'll watch it at home and give you my thoughts. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like I said, the OneRing.net and playing by the old rules. They're trying to stick a shiv in everybody and let them bleed out so you can have doubts. But it's not going to work, and we're fighting back. See, authenticity cannot be purchased. Love cannot be fabricated. Passion cannot be imitated or mined. Ever. We are slowly winning. We have taken control of the narrative because we're shedding light on the facts. And if you want to get back all those legendary IPs like Star Wars, you hold the line. Star Trek, you hold the line. You want to one day reclaim Tolkien's legendarium, his Aya and his beautiful Arda? We hold the line. And you know how you do that? You remember that we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Firmly defiant. Step up, stand tall, and get busy living your best life now. Always forward. Now, I've talked a lot about my grandmother and what I learned from her and my grandfather. There's something today I learned. It was after 20 years of my kidnapping, I went to Greece. I was about 28 and a half, 29 almost going. And I'd been there for 3 weeks. And I went to all these different restaurants, all these different places, made some new friends. But this concerns Amazon and their authenticity issue, passion and love problems. Finally, I got tired. I had tried all these restaurants that the hotel would recommend to me, and each one of them was like a strip mine, homogenized version of what Amazon does to all the mom and pop places that we used to grow up with and we'd love. Finally, I took the card out of my pocket that the cab driver had given to me, who drove me to the hotel originally from the airport. His name was Lambros, Larry in English. I called him up. He picked me up, took me to a few places, and I said, I want to go eat where you eat. And he's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I said, yes. After 30 minutes of going back and forth, arguing, he said, not a problem. So he drove me by a place that I had walked by 50, 75 times. It looked like a cab stand or like a hotel rack where you put your coat. It's like these two huge tall buildings and then this one little dive in between both. It's like an afterthought and someone put a little building in between. So get inside, you could just smell all the good food. It hit you. But it was very simple. Packed. Floor to ceiling, there were people almost. I mean, when I mean it literally, they had this second level that they looked like it was makeshift, like they had just built it where they had put a few tables. He takes me to the back into the kitchen. There was a grandmother, a mother, and her daughter must have been like 20, 21 years old. She was the hostess for everyone. He had talked to her in Greek, explaining there's nowhere up front. Can we sit here at this table next to where they were cutting vegetables? She's like, yeah. So we sat there. I was looking for a menu. No menus here. My grandmother comes up to me, what would you like to eat? And I'm like, there's no menu. She's like, chicken, beef, fish, or pasta style dish. I'm like, whatever you want. Over the next 2 hours, I had food that reminded me, if I closed my eyes, of my mother's and my grandmother's. You know why? Because she poured her love and her passion into it. And it was authentic. I would put her meal up against any 4 or 5-star restaurant in the world. No one could touch it because it was authentic. It was real. And if Amazon actually wants their series to be the event that is remembered for centuries, they'll go back to the drawing board, shutter this schedule, and push it back for a year. Start over. You cannot purchase authenticity. You cannot imitate passion. And you cannot fabricate love.